Tim Walz, who's the governor of Minnesota, yesterday blasted J.D. Vance for being a grifter. He wrote Hillbilly Elegy, and you think, oh, gee, he must have grown up in Appalachia or something. No, he grew up in the suburbs of Cincinnati, which is something I didn't know until yesterday. Governor Walz says, I actually grew up in a small town, only 400 people. He said there were 24 kids in my graduating class, and 12 were cousins. So, and in his and my apologies for my voice, by the way. I don't know what's going on here, but in his book Hillbilly Elegy, Vance basically trash talks, poor people, the Appalachian poor people, and says that they're poor because they're lazy and they're drug addicted. Well, first of all, they're not lazy. I mean, if you don't have a job, if there's no jobs available, what are you going to do? And secondly, the drug addiction. I mean, he pointed to his mother at the RNC and said, "Oh, 10 years sober. Isn't that wonderful? Her addiction is her fault." This addiction is a symptom of what has been done to these very poor regions. Many of them, I mean, particularly in the Midwest and Appalachia, white regions that are the victims of Republican policies. I mean, it's just that simple. Vance, I mean, even his story is a grift. Just like Vance's career and his life story are a grift. Just like Donald Trump's failed businesses were mostly grifts. Just like Nixon's racist law and order grift. Just like Reagan's tax cuts for the rich trickle-down economics grift. Bush and Cheney's oil-grabbing Iraq weapons of mass destruction's grift. I mean, these guys have been grifting us for half a century. I lay out all the details in my book, The Hidden History of Neoliberalism, but it's pretty straightforward. Basically every company is trying to hustle us in America. You've got corporations right now. Last 2 years, corporations have made more money and paid their executives more than any time in the history of the world. Why? Because they're running a giant grift and they're blaming inflation for it. And Republicans are blaming Democrats for it. No, it's a grift. Cell phone service costs $15 a month in France, $12 a month in Australia. How much are you paying? Most people are paying at least $60 a month. High-speed internet, a couple hundred megabytes per second, a gigabyte a second, $31 a month in France, $36 a month in Germany. In the United States, most people are paying $60, $70, $80 for that same thing. We are the only developed country in the world where people have experienced bankruptcy because somebody got sick. We're the only country in the world, developed country in the world, with widespread student debt. We're the only developed country in the world where the entire healthcare system is based on for-profit insurance and grifters.